Orange. Not a small town of nearly 50,000 people. We've been hit hard, and unfortunately, we have a large senior population and a number of senior living facilities. So we've had a lot of deaths. We've had nearly 200 deaths, and unfortunately, it's largely impacted the senior community. So this has been a tough year. 1,600 people in town have been confirmed cases of all ages. It's not just the elderly. And we're seeing that recently in a number of young people impacted. And again, regrettably, we've lost 187 of our residents due to COVID. So it's been a challenging year to govern. It's also been a challenging year just from a human standpoint because I don't think anyone in this country can't say they haven't been impacted somehow by COVID.
What's your read of how this is impacting our presidential election? Do you think that the people you talk to are mostly leaning Biden, or do you sense some
Look,
support
West
for?
Orange, obviously New Jersey tends to be a blue state, but certainly West Orange is indicative of that. And I don't think, not even party, let's separate party just for the second and stay on COVID. I don't think anyone could say that this administration handled the virus well. Um, Maybe the politics of it makes that issue even more profound, but the administration at the federal level has not. And I think contrary to that, and then I know it's a tough spot, and I know people like to criticize. I think our governor has done a good job. I think the biggest criticism he's received is that he's erred on the side of caution. But I think when you're in leadership and you're talking about people's health and people's lives, I think you need to be cautious. And I think our governor has done a really good job with the virus. And I think that's striking when you look to how the federal government has. And I think in many ways the federal government really did not do the country service. I'm
And
not
the
saying
yep.
that we'd be out of it now. I don't think that's realistic. But I think it's hard to argue that more people have been impacted than maybe needed to be, because we didn't get the direction, the information, and maybe the leadership we should have.
And the events of the last few days maybe spell that out a little bit, without wishing ill on
I
anyone.
would never wish it on anyone, and you see a lot of it on social media. I think that's shameful, quite honestly. But I don't think there's people of either side of the aisle who would look at the president being impacted and say they're surprised. He's minimized the need for masks. He hasn't demonstrated that he believes in wearing masks. He doesn't wear them. Obviously, we're hoping everyone gets better soon. But
Indeed.
I don't think anyone could say they're surprised that the governor, the mayor, and the president, and a lot of people around him have been impacted by it.
Mayor, your continuing needs from state government, if you could make that plea for West Orange now, what do you need?
So I think every year mayors need money. So this year it's not only is it maybe more more evident, but it's also every town. So every 565 towns in the state, all having financial issues, all related to COVID. So um, we're struggling this year with a lot of revenue. Obviously, the CARES Act has helped, but when you now project into 21, we're going to have some significant challenges. And the only consolation and comforting as government officials is that we're all in this together. So we recognize that the state's going to recognize that, and we're all going to try to do what we can to help each other. But it's going to have a ripple effect, if not into next year, certainly possibly beyond.